Welcome to the Brave Cave. Wicka wicka, Kyle is your host. Let's party! You guys, I swear, I've not been drinking. Like, seriously, I have stage 3 kidney failure, so that's not it. All right. I'm just happy today, okay? Happy. It's a good day. Yay. Hello. Let's get ready to rumble. All right, I'm going to calm down now and start. Oh my goodness. Once again, I forgot to put my headphones on. Let me see. Whoop. Yep, I sound good. I sound good. I sound good. Let's get comfy. Let's get comfy. Hi, guys. Okay. Here we go. Welcome to the Brave Cave. I'm going to get started. Lots to share with you in this solo pod. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Beyond Brave. I've got a lot to share today, and I am giving you an update on my health since being diagnosed with stage 3 kidney failure. I'll share the mix of emotions that come with Waylon's 7th birthday party, and I'll tell you about a new wink I received from my Bella. And before the end, I'll introduce you to an incredible new resource coming for medical families across Canada, one that I get to be a part of sharing. So stick with me until the end because this is something that could truly change lives. All right, let's get into it. All right, starting with my health update. So as many of you know, in the past 2 episodes, I went into detail about being diagnosed with stage 3 kidney failure. And I promised I would keep you updated. So today I just want to talk about how that kind of like, how it's been going since. And so if you haven't listened to the previous 2 episodes yet, I basically in a nutshell went into my doctor like not feeling good. And a lot of the symptoms I was having was adding up to this. I just didn't expect it to be this. Like I've just been having issues feeling like waterlogged in a sense, like inflamed, sluggish, extremely tired. And so my doctor started with around a blood work. It turns out my creatinine was really high and it's like literally labeled stage 3 kidney failure. And it's like, holy crap, like stage 5 is when you are looking at dialysis and possible transplant. And so I'm just like, what have I been doing to my kidneys? What have I been doing to hurt my kidneys? Like this is crazy because nothing was adding up. I'm not diabetic. I don't have constant UTIs. I don't, what else was there? There was a couple other things that were not the typical reasons why. Turns out my doctor's hunch could be correct, but I won't know until I do blood work next week, basically. So since then, I've stopped all supplements and I most likely been over supplementing. So for feeling like absolute crap, I'm thinking, okay, my body needs extra of magnesium, extra vitamin D, extra B12, extra this, extra that, protein in my coffee, protein here, protein there, supplement there, collagen protein here, whey protein there. And I'm just like, nothing I'm doing is helping. I'm still feeling exhausted and gross. And even though I'm walking every day, I'm lifting weights, I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking, like I'm staying healthy, I'm staying busy. My stress level is down. And I'm just like, what is going on? I'm trying to do all the right things. And he's like, well, with all of the supplements you're taking, like they could be leaving trace metals, trace minerals or whatever that's building up in my kidneys and harming them. So I was supposed to come off of those. And since coming off of those for, I think like 2 weeks now, I have felt better. I have had more energy. My energy, like the first week, I didn't really notice anything. The second week, I've felt a lot more energetic, not a little bit like lighter, but less like puffier, less sluggy, a little more energy. I'm waking up earlier and not feeling as tired. So I'm feeling a bit better overall, which is reassuring, really reassuring. I'm not having the kidney back pain that I was having either. Or I'd wake up, it was especially worse like after a morning. After waking up in the morning, I'd have this like back pain right where my kidneys are in the back. And it was really strange. I've been making sure every morning when I wake up, I start my day with like a liter of water, not like chug it, but instead of just not having any water at all throughout the day, which is common for me, I'll start my day with water and not allow myself to have anything else until I'm done that, because at least then I know, okay, I at least got at least 1 liter in today. Like that's good. That's a good goal for me. Um, so I'm feeling like, of course, I'm feeling confident with what my doctor said. Like, this is, of course, reversible. And based on what he thinks is going on, it should be reversible. So I'm hoping that I score good when I go for my blood work next week. And yeah. So working really closely with my doctor on next steps. I'm also, there's some other things I didn't touch on last episode, which was I'm going in for a lower limb assessment. And I don't think I touched on the details in this. Anyways, I don't also think, like, I think I have real poor circulation. I'm always really cold, always freezing cold. I could wear like 3 layers of socks all day. It's plus 40 out, and I'll still drink like hot decaf coffee like 3 times a day. Like, I'm always cold. And from my C-section scars, of course, the one from Waylon being from a different doctor and a little bit larger, it's always felt really strange and really sore, and just almost like someone tied a string around that spot and it's tightening it and tightening it. And I'm just wondering if there was maybe like lymph damage or some sort of damage that's affected my circulation for the lower half of my body. Um, and so I asked my doctor to look into that too, and he was really quick on that. So I'm getting a lower limb assessment, which I have no idea what that's going to be, but that's going to happen soon. I think this week I go. Also, I'm going to go for a mammogram, but that's just because I'm over 40 and I really want to make sure, like, I don't have any concerns. Thankfully, I don't have breast cancer in my family, but I want, like, baseline, like a healthy baseline to make sure, like, if anything comes up in the future, which I hope it doesn't, that, like, this would help. So, getting that done. And then, yeah, I have no idea what the lower limb assessment will be like, but I will fill you guys in on that after I get that done. But I really hope that helps kind of figure some things out for my lower limbs. My leggedy loos. Little Bella and I, we had this little song. We called it Leggedy Loos. And I'd pick her up and her tiny little legs, because she had dwarfism, tiny little legs barely could wrap around my waist. And I'd pick her up and we'd sing a little song. And it went, leggedy loos, I got me some leggedy loos. And we'd sing that together, like a cute little like snuggle sesh, pickup sesh. It was just a sweet little memory I just had from that. So I'm going to get my leggedy loos looked at, and we'll go from there, guys. If anybody's had a lower limb assessment, contact me somehow. I don't know, message me on my Instagram, like at KylaCT. Let me know what I'm in store for. I really don't know if they're just going to run an ultrasound up and down my legs or what's going to happen. I have no idea, but I hope it freaking helps. Oh yeah, and I asked about like the scar. Like, I had my doctor that did my first C-section took a look at my scar in the area of concern, because it's like the string is tied and the scar tissue didn't heal like my first C-section did. And there's like not this lip, but there's this like strange overhang. The scar tissue is straight, and she was like, yeah, that's not a great job. And I'm like, well, like, it's causing issues, and if it is causing circulatory issues, like, could I get this fixed somehow? And she's like, well, she thinks it might be like they would consider it cosmetic, whereas my other family doctor's like, you know what, they might not. So let's get a lower limb assessment and see if I can actually get that all checked out, which I'm just really impressed by and happy that this can happen for me. And I'm just checking all the boxes on like keeping my health monitored, because I really want to stay strong for my son. And at 42, I want to be strong and healthy and live long for him. And that's just my goal right now, is the best way I can put it. Oh, and I've been logging some of this stuff. Like, sorry if this is like droning on a little bit, but it's just my health update. And then we'll get into interesting way grief really freaking hit me hard at Waylon's birthday party. We celebrated. He doesn't turn 7 till the 27th, but we celebrated early so his friends could be there. And oh my goodness, it was a rough day for me. It turned out to be a really rough day for me. I'll share a bit more on that in a second. But I just want to also share with you all like some notes and things I found out, and I've been journaling basically like notes that I take about so I can remember what's going on and if I need to come to my doctor with anything that I've thought of or looked at or I think needs to be looked at. So anyways, a couple things I found out. And this is from like reading like research papers, listening to like credible podcasts, that sort of thing. Um, B6 vitamin is better for circulation. Now I know you're like, Kyla, you just were told to come off of supplements. But I'm just sharing with you, like, I found that interesting. Okay, so B6 vitamin is better for circulation, which is something I'm looking at. I just wrote it down. I'm not taking B6 right now. Um, Take a tablespoon of vinegar or apple cider vinegar and water 10 to 15 minutes before a meal. Why did I write that down? I think that's supposed to help to do something with like digestion or anyways. Okay, so yeah, I stopped all caffeine, supplements, alcohol, of course. I mean, I've been off caffeine for 5 years now. But I guess even these supplements I was taking could cause metal toxins to the kidneys. That's what I wrote down. And I need to reverse this. What else did I write down? Okay, so this is something else I noted. Stress. I feel like stress has hijacked my hormones and my hormone balance. But now, what do I do that I'm over and through and on the other side of chronic stress? So, like, and I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but I feel like there has been much, much more. Like, if you know my story as a medical mom and then having lost Bella last year, there has been much more stress in my life. And I understand I've had chronic stress for 10 years now, but I'm, I'm not in the thick of it like I have been before. So it's like, yes, I know stress has hijacked that, but it's like I'm feeling less stressed now than in many ways I have before. So why are my hormones out of whack now? Is that the actual issue? Like, what's going on? And these are all the questions I asked my doctor to help me figure out with all this stuff going on. Um, what else did I have on here? Yeah, just back to my scar tissue that it could, like, they're looking into if it has affected my lymph nodes in that area, causing poor circulation in my legs. That will be looked at, and I'm happy because I have had some strange swelling in my legs too. Like nothing serious, but it's like I'll wear, my legs when the inseam will still be like on my skin when I take them off, or whenever I wear socks. They're always it's always indented on my skin, and that can be that could be a red flag. But like I said earlier, I don't have. The other thing was I don't have diabetes, UTIs, or high blood pressure, chronic infections, none of that. It's not hereditary, none of that. So why? Why are my kidneys in this state? I found out that if you like magnesium, actually supplementing magnesium technically should be you can not overdose, but you can take too much and it can affect you in really negative ways. Like you should really be contacting your doctor about how much magnesium you should be taking. Vitamin D, I was going to town with vitamin D. You typically only need like 2,000 IU a day, and I was taking like and then I've heard other places say like, "Oh, you're an adult in Canada, you can take 10,000 IU a day." No. You have to be careful with that too, because large amounts of vitamin D can cause you to absorb too much calcium, which damages the kidneys, and then you're at higher risk of kidney stones as well. So, found that out a little late. I don't have kidney stones though, as far as I know. It's just the kidney damage that's happening. I've also lessened my salt intake to like a low sodium diet in the last couple of weeks too. Yeah, that's about it for. Oh yeah, and I was looking at like a kidney healthy diet. I'm like going on like the kidney network pages on like Instagram and Facebook and all these things, looking at kidney friendly diets, finding all these things out. I found out one Brazil nut is your selenium for the day. Because of course they say, it's like you should be number one, you should be getting your nutrients and your vitamins from whole foods, right? And so I was looking at whole food kidney friendly diets and I found that out. One Brazil nut is your selenium for the day. Huh. Interesting. Wanted to share that tidbit with you guys now that you know all about my kidneys is and what is in my health journal, we're going to move on um, to the type of grief that I found on celebrating Waylon's 7th birthday. So, switching gears here. So recently we celebrated his 7th birthday party a bit early. Um, but as much as I celebrated him, the day carried a lot of pain. And I'll explain that in a second. That kind of just hit me, really hit me, like really hit me hard. Like I was like bawling and I'm like trying to like hide myself from crying in front of these like 6-year-olds. Um, but I want to talk about why that day hurt, even in the middle of the joy. Um, we can still sit with such mixed emotions. So I found myself grieving Bella in a really, really different way because it's, it's like, I don't want to say this the wrong way and I don't want to offend anyone, but I kind of understand now what it's like to be like why boy moms are so celebrated. Um, so it's hard. It's freaking hard, especially if you've had, um, a daughter like my Bella, where there was no poker face she couldn't get around. She was so in tune with my emotions. I could not hide anything. We were connected in such a way. I could talk to her, she could talk to me, and it was just that if I was upset and I tried to hide it from her so I wouldn't make her upset, it was like, why even bother? She knows. And then she would appreciate me trying to do that, and she would share that, and she would hug me, and she would, the way she would tell me, Mom, it's okay when things were hard, the conversations we would have, it's like this intimate reassurance that I've never had with anybody else in my life. And she gave that to me, and that was the way she was. That was who she was. Um, and I don't want to say I don't get that from Waylon, but he's a 6-year-old boy. The way Bella talked to me when she was 6 is hugely, hugely, hugely different than the way my son talks to me. And that's essentially what hit me hard that day, is that I lost that. I don't, as much as I'm trying to get that from Waylon, and as much as I see his empathetic and his sympathetic and his kind-hearted side that he has these flickers of, he is not Bella. He is not the way she would console me. And I have to grieve that. I am grieving that too. And it just hit me so hard because I am preparing this day for him to have such a fun party with his buddies. And I'm putting so much work into it. And I mean, not so much work, but it's just like as much as you do to get, to make your little guy happy on his birthday party and have fun with his buddies. And I never got like the thank yous, or he just didn't talk to me the same way I know that Bella would have and had. And so I felt very dismissed. I felt very ignored. I felt not disrespected, but the way that he was just like wild about his buddies and just not listening to me. It's like, my buddies are here, like, let's go. And they like had so much fun playing like Nerf guns outside. And I set up like targets for them. And they were like, just flying fun, flying around. It wasn't about, I'm not like, I had my little bawling sesh. Like, Lau was helping me through it. And I was just getting really, really frustrated that he wasn't listening. He wasn't thankful. He was a little bit disrespectful to me. And I just kind of felt like I was just like a servant on his like special day. And maybe a lot of you who have little boys are just like rolling your eyes at me like, okay, welcome to the club, lady. Like, this is the way it is. But I think it was just really hard for me because Bella would have reacted 1,000% a different way. And she did, like, just coming from experience with her birthdays and I mean, she never freaking took a birthday for granted. And she was super thankful because she spent so many of them in the hospital. So when she actually did have one outside of a hospital, it was like, she was beside herself with thankfulness. But, so it really hit me hard. And I had a big old cry in my coolie. I went for a walk, had a big old cry. And I just didn't expect that. Uh, and once I realized why I'm grieving and why I'm feeling this way, it just digs a real deep, deep hole in my heart, because I'm not going to get that from Waylon. I can't expect that from him. He's a different person. He's not his sister. And so it's just all the more reminder that I don't have my Bella. And it's not fair for me to expect that from Waylon. But it is okay that I can grieve the special, special connection I had with her. And that was just like one of the things that brought it up and made me super sad, and basically just needed to pull my big girl panties back up and be like, he's a 6-year-old boy. Chill the F out. Let him have some flying fun and cry it out. Cry it out, and it's going to be okay. Shout out to the boy moms out there, because holy frig. After having a taste of what it's like to have a daughter and to have her, taken away from you, and you don't get to see her anymore, and you gotta flip the entire script with a little guy, and it's hard. It's hard. The softness, I guess, is gone. I'm grieving her softness. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. So if anyone's in a similar situation, I feel you. And I am working through that right now in the moment as I cry all over the mic. On a happier note, I really want to share with you guys a recent sign I got from Bella. And the way it kind of came about, it was really, really super sweet. And I wanted to share it on I wanted to share on my socials. I haven't got a chance to yet, so you're hearing it here first. But I have a cute little creative way I wanted to create a video of how she shared this sign with me, which I'll hopefully get to later so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm sorry I didn't bring the little piece down with me, but I'll explain it, and then you guys can watch my socials later, and hopefully I'll get around to posting it. But what happened was I had a little wink from her show up in the most unexpected way. And it was really funny because I had been reading Laura's book Signs. I've been kind of reading about, connections, and just like praying and reassuring myself that she's still here. She's around. She's not physically here, but spiritually, I know that connection will never die. It will never fade. And her ability to send winks and signs can strengthen. Maybe it's not that strong right now, and just the way it works. And I remember, so this happened on Friday, when I was going to make cupcakes for Waylon's party. And a few days before that, I'd asked Bella. I was having a big old cry in her bedroom. Grief was hitting me hard, and I was letting it out and crying and crying and crying. And I said, sweetheart. So I was holding her bunny, Rosie. And if you know much of our story, Rosie's her little pink stuffy bunny that was very special to her and gave her lots of comfort through a lot of surgeries. And so I was holding Rosie in her bedroom and just telling her how much I loved her, and that if she had time this week or any time to send me a bunny. And they're not common where we are. Like, I don't get to see bunnies hopping around anywhere. And so I was like, I know this will be something that I know if I see a bunny, it's going to be blatantly like her being like, I'm here, Mom. I hear you. And so like I was teaching a couple days, and I was like around town, and sometimes I'd have it in the back of my mind and looking. And I thought, no, I can't do that. It's just, it'll come when it'll come, if it'll come. But I was like, oh, maybe I'll see a bunny on a t-shirt. Maybe someone will bring a pet bunny to school that I can pet, or like, I don't know. I was just like going through my head. Like, I wonder how she'll like maybe show up for me with this. And Kind of forgot about it, and then a couple days went by, and I go to make cupcakes for Waylon's birthday, and I can't remember the last time I baked anything. So I'm digging in the back of my baking supplies cupboard, and I pull out my little baggie with my like icing coloring, cupcake liners, uh, waxy candle box, some cookie cutters, all these things for baking. And I dump it all out because I need to reorganize it. And I dump this whole bag out. And out drops these two little glass bunnies. They're like little trinkets. And one was blue and one was yellow. And they were kind of like, the only thing I could think where they came from was I know Bella and Waylon used to have these bath bombs, and well, Waylon loved them, and they would come with like a little toy in the middle, and it was always an animal. And that's the only time I've seen these before. And I basically dumped this baking bag out on my counter, and I'm like, what the? I was like, hi, honey. Hi. I, I see you. I hear you. And I'm holding these two little bunnies in my hand. And I'm like, what in the planet? These are bath toys. Why are they in my baking bag? Like, I have no idea how they would have ever got there. But I knew in that moment she was with me, and those were the bunnies she sent me. And I was just like overjoyed, overjoyed. And it was the sweetest thing. Yeah. So that really, 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 really made my week. Um, yeah, I want to share that with you. And then lastly, if you're still hanging out with me, I'm really excited to start sharing. I had a meeting last week with a very, very special person who is a project analyst for our Pediatric Palliative Care Alliance in Canada. And so she reached out to me, and because they are about to launch a new resource hub in October. And so when I first heard from her, I was amazed at how little I actually knew about what they do and how much they offer families like mine. I'm really excited for you guys to hear more about this. I'm really excited to share as I learn more as well. And something I learned just after talking to her is the Palliative Care Alliance. Like, this isn't just resources for end of life care, which is something I never really realized. This is huge for medical families and parents and caregivers of critically ill children seeking support and resources. This isn't just end of life care, which I never knew before. So this is about support for these families and these children in ways that would be hugely helpful. And as I talked to her, I realized, oh my goodness, this would have been so huge for our family when Bella was alive. The initiative is funded by Health Canada, and their goal is to make access to pediatric palliative care more equitable across Canada. And so I still have a lot to learn, and there's so much more I'm going to be sharing with you. But I wanted to start talking about it now so you can follow along on my socials. I'm going to be interviewing her as well, and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to have like a whole episode. So stay tuned for that. We should hopefully be recording tomorrow. And yeah, so it should be the podcast that comes out after this one that you're listening to right now. Yeah, but follow along on my socials. I'm going to be sharing there as well. And if you want to take a look for yourself right now, you can visit the pediatricpalliativecare.ca website. And definitely more good things are coming for medical families, and I am honored to be able to help share it. So yeah, that was my little tidbit. I'm excited. So stay tuned for more info on that. I want to say thank you again for all of you being here with me and listening. If you've listened this far, I'm excited to tell you that I have new Bella Brave merch coming out soon. I haven't been updating our merch as often as I like. But I wanted you guys all to know that you'll notice now on our website, I changed the banner and donation section so that it is clear where donations go to. Any donations we receive from our website go to our Bella Brave initiatives, and one of those being Bella's Basket. So I wanted to end this episode sharing details around what that is and how it came to be. So of course, if you know a little bit about our family, Bella and I, we lived pretty much her entire life in hospital a lot of long-term stays. And I think it was 2021, we started Bella Brave merch, and Bella designed, she chose her favorite colors, pink, black, and white. And she started designing. She loved designing. She wanted to be a fashion designer. And so we would take her drawings and designs and turn them into clothing and apparel. And of course, we work with an awesome company called Fourth Wall. And so we're able to obtain income from that. And it really, really helped us get through long-term hospital stays. And so now that I want to continue to carry on Bella's legacy, of course, with her name and her merch and her designs. We're no longer living in hospital. And so I wanted people to understand where the donations go now. And of course, those are going to go to our Bella Brave initiatives. And the Bella Brave basket, Bella started when she was still alive. And it was something I started for her when she started needing frequent blood work, sometimes daily, sometimes weekly. And I got the idea while we were in hospital. And quite often when kids needed blood work, they'd have like a treasure box and with toys in it and treats and exciting things. And so when we came home and we had to go to our own hospital for her blood work, I created my own little treasure box for her. And I'd bring it with little things she liked. And it served as like a motivation for her to get through that short bit of pain for blood work and hopefully distract her from the pain right after, and she could look at and do something with something she enjoyed. So I brought it with me, and it was right there and ready for blood work days. And so Bella actually started this idea, and we called it Bella's Basket, and it's a huge basket we have at our local lab. And we fill it and we stock it with toys and trinkets and exciting things that kids, aged like baby all the way up to 18 would like. And Bella would help me shop for different items. And now Waylon helps me shop for different items, and we fill the basket whenever we need it, whenever it needs to be filled. And it stays at the lab, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback from it, from, the lab techs and the nurses, and some of the parents have had to take their kids in for blood work. And it means so much that her legacy is carried on in that way. And we can help little kiddos that have to get blood work in our own community. And so I wanted everyone to make sure they understood that if you do want to donate on our webpage, that's where the money's going to be going. So yeah. And as always, if you found this episode meaningful, please share it with a friend. Post it to your Instagram, tag me. That would be awesome. I'd love to know what you think. I'd love to hear about what you think on there. Leave a rating or a review wherever you listen, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. It helps Beyond Brave reach more people who need to know they're not alone, especially in this life of grief if they're there. And if you ever want to connect with me directly, the best way to do that's through my Instagram DMs, which is at KylaCT. You can find me there. And I'll leave you today with this thought, which I found really, really suited for the Brave Cave. Bravery isn't the absence of fear or pain. It's choosing to move forward with both of them in your hands and still finding hope along the way. Together, let's keep choosing to live beyond brave. Thank you. And we are done. Dun, 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 dun. Going to press. And don't fall over my microphone.